Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 5 of Evil Week. And thank you for joining us tonight. And before I start, our heartfelt gratitude to Calicut Forum for IT and Kerala Police Cyber Room for partnering with us for this event. I hope the previous sessions have been useful for you all. So, for those of you who are new here, let me take a brief moment to introduce EvilHoursX and EvilWeek. So, EvilHoursX is the community wing of Wattlecorp, and it was created to bring together a group of people who are interested in learning more about the field of cybersecurity. And EvilWeek is our first large-scale virtual event. Without further ado, let me introduce tonight's speaker. Tonight we have Adithya with us. He's a core member of EvilHoursX, and he's also the co-founder of Buffersec, and he's a researcher at Wattlecorp. He's a very active player in Hack the Box, and he's also an expert in web pen testing. And I'm sure that you will find today's session to be very useful. If you have any questions during the session, you can ask in the Zoom comments or YouTube comments. And without further ado, over to you, Aditya.
Okay, thank you, Navneet. That was a brief introduction of myself. And now coming to my session today, I'll be taking the introduction into web exploitation part. That is, I'll be laying a brief foundation for what is to be taken tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a session of bug bounty hunting. It will be taken by Abhiram and it will be taken by Govind. So I'll be giving a brief introduction to that. And without further ado, I'm getting into the topic. So now, first of all, let me give a brief introduction to what I will be uh, covering in this today's topic. I'll be doing how a website works, and I'll be also telling about how a HTTP request and HTTP response works. And I'll be also give a brief introduction on cookies and session management too. And there will be a part where I'll be covering out tools that will be really helpful for in web exploitation. That will be coming up later. And now, first of all, coming to the working of websites, as you can see here, actually a website is a response of a request that is sent by a server. So what happens is when we send a request from our web browser to a server, it will be giving out a response in return. That is actually what a web page looks like. So that response will be put together, it will be rendered, and it will be giving out quite a good, beautiful web page. So that's how a website works. Okay, so now coming to this is what a typical web application setup looks like. Here, as you can see, the web client is ourselves and the web server is here. And the web client sends a HTTP request of clear text or SSL, and it passes through the firewall, which will be configured such that there will be no DDoS attacks or of any kind. Some of the examples of firewall are Cloudflare, etc. So this request will be passed on through the firewall, then into the web server. So what web server does is it will be processing the information, and it will be requesting for other information that will be required from web app, and web app will be contacting the database to fetch more information regarding that, whatever the request may be. And database will return the information to web app, and the web app will return it to the web server, and web server will put together the response, HTTP response, and it will be giving out to the web client. So that's how a particular or a typical web application setup looks like. I I I uh, I think that you understood about that. Now coming to the request, this is how a web request, I mean a request from our end looks like. A browser's request looks like. So here you can see I'll be tearing apart all these headers, and will be explaining each one what each one is used for. So without further ado, moving on. So as you can see here, the get get is also called as the HTTP verb. It is it can be replaced by post, put, delete options, trace, etc. So it is used for, it is kind of the type of request that we are sending. So it can be tampered with. This request can be changed to post request. So that's what this first part specifies. And coming here, you can see that it is a HTTP 1.1. That is a protocol which is specified. That is a protocol through which the particular conversation takes place between the web server and the web client. And now coming to the next part, this slash here, you can see that it indicates the directory for which you are requesting for. For instance, you are here in this case I'm requesting the home directory of this particular website, that is the google.com. And here you can see that I'm requesting for slash indicates the home directory of this particular website. What if I'm requesting for maps? Then here it will turn into slash maps slash. That's what it looks like when in the case of the HTTP request of a particular directory. Now coming down to the host, the host header specifies the particular website or the host that will be requesting for. In this case, it is HTTP, the google.com itself. So here, as you can see, the host header specifies that the website which we are requesting for. Now coming to the next part, it is the user agent. The user agent actually specifies which type of browser, which type of Linux architecture you are using, which version of browser you are using, everything of that sorts, so that the web server understands which kind of web page you need. In case if you need a mobile web page, it can be specified here. It will be Android x86-64 or Arch x86-64. So that's how the web server understands what what web response you need to give out to the web client. So that's what a user agent looks like. The user agent specifies the type of browser, the type of Linux architecture which we will be using, which will be used by the client, and that's what a user agent specifies. And the accept header will be specifying what the web browser, I mean the web client will be expecting from the web server. What type of document will the web client be expecting from the web user. That is here, as you can see, it will be a text or a HTML file that will be that the browser will be expecting. Now the encoding, accept encoding header is used when the client expects a encoding type. In this case, it is a gzip deflate. So that's what accept encoding looks like. Okay, now moving on to some other origins. As you all know that the response, I mean the request headers change according to a particular web servers. So request header will be different for google.com and facebook.com. So in some cases we can see a origin header too. Okay, the origin header is actually used for CORS, that will be uh, for communicating between two web servers. So what it does is it will ask for information from one web server to another web server. For instance, it may ask for passwords or maybe some client information or confidential data or whatever. That's what origin header is used. So origin header specifies that from which web server it is sending the request. So that's what a origin header is. And coming to web server response, we have talked about the web request, how and what a web server. Sorry, that was a technical error. Okay, we have talked about how a web request looks like. Now coming to web server response, you can see that in a response, the web as I said before, the response header, I mean the response that is coming from the web server is given out when a HTTP request is sent to the server. So now let's take a deeper look into what a HTTP web response looks like. Okay, so this is what a HTTP response looks like. As you can see here, the protocol of this particular response is specified here. It is HTTP 1.1, and it is a notable fact that new protocols are coming out right now. So It might change into HTTP 3, and maybe it will take a while, but it will definitely change. I think HTTP 3 is more kind of really secure, because in this case, when a HTTP request is sent, we know that it will be sent from a 80 port or a 443 in case of SSL. That will be TCP2. In the case of HTTP 3, it becomes the UDP 443. So what happens is the request will be sent from for the port UDP 443. So that's what a protocol is. Okay. Now coming to the response code, here we can see that we have a 200 OK. That means that the response has been 200. I mean the response is 200. That means it is OK, and the web page has rendered correctly. Okay, now coming to this part, the date part. The date part is the time and date, exact time and date when the web server sends the request back. I mean the response back to our client browser. That's what a date header is used for. And let's see what we have. We have content, which specifies the type of the document that we shared, and we have the server. In this case, I've taken the response code of a Google server, so I mean the google.com itself. So it will be obviously a GWS, that is a Google Web Server. This is a clickjacking protection right here, XXX protection, and cookie is also specified here, as you can see. It has an expiry date. The cookie has an expiry date, and issued date also. Okay, so this is what a response from a web server's end looks like. Okay, now as I told you earlier, now talking about response codes, we know that information responses are ranging from 100 to 199. This is a very required information for a web exploiter. I mean, a bug bounty hunter or anyone who is doing his field in web exploitation or anything in web at all. So here we can see that information responses are ranging from 100 to 199, and successful responses, as you saw there, it ranges from here. It ranges from 200 to 299, and redirects ranges from 300 to 399. We can see a bunch of times when a code 302 comes in, where we'll be redirected into some other page where due to like we might have been logged out from our user or whatever. This cookie might have been died. Okay, talking of cookies, we'll be coming to that topic in a bit. Okay, now in case of client-side errors, it ranges from 400 to 499. This is where the 404 error comes in. We all must have seen what a 404 looks like, right? So a 404 error is when we'll be requesting for files which will be not available in the web server. For instance, I am looking for www.google.com/ something like a for instance myself, www.google.com/Adithya. That web page won't be available. That means it'll be showing out a 404 error, right? So that's what a client-side error looks like. And coming to the server errors, it'll range from 500 to 599. This comes into play when a server has not enough power in it so that it could serve the request that is requested by the client-side server. I mean the client-side browser. Okay, so this happens when a DDoS attack comes into play. Like for instance, we sometimes as I think in the previous sessions it was mentioned about the DDoS attacks. So in some cases we know that in some college websites and all, the web server won't have enough capability to handle all the requests that is coming through at that particular moment. So what happens is the server error comes into play. The server crashes and a lot of things happen. It may even lead to loss of data. So that's what a server error ranges from. Okay, now coming as I told you, the requests may be different for different websites, right? Likewise, the response will be different for different websites too. In some cases, we can see the cases in which origin header is present in the request request header, we can see that the response header will contain access control allow origin header too, which means that for a web server to communicate with another web server, it should specify from which web server the particular request is sent from. For that, this particular header is specified, and you can see that access control allow origin is in this case it will be allowed only for crunchyfy.com, right? And coming to the next header, it is access control allow credentials header, which means when we need to communicate with another web server, we need to have credentials exchanged. That is where access control allow credentials come into play. Okay, that's all about the response and request part. Now coming to session management, we all know that when we turn off the cookies, we won't be able to log into particular accounts, right? Some for instance, we won't be able to log into Facebook, we won't be able to log into Gmail, etc. So what happens here is that a cookie is saved in place so that the server knows that you were there and you are the person which the web server is trying to interact with. That's what a session management is. Okay, and that is where a cookie comes into play. So a cookie is used when, as we all know, HTTP is a stateless protocol. So when I'm visiting google.com and resetting my cookie, what happens is google.com is a new for when google.com's end, when we see from google.com's end, he thinks that I am a new user every time I log in there, or I visit that particular website. So what does is they'll assign a cookie for us that will be saved in our browsers, in our browser. And what happens is while we visit that particular web page, a request header that will be sent from our end will specify that this particular cookie has been assigned to us, and that through that particular request, the web server understands that I have visited that particular website and I have a session there. That's why we don't get logged out very often when logging into Gmail and other social media accounts. Okay, so that's what a cookie looks like. Now let me just give you a brief introduction to some of those um, tools out there which will be really helpful. Okay, so I'll be stopping the screen sharing right now and I'll be switching on to my other machine. Is my screen visible right now?
Yes, Aditya, it is.
Okay, so this is my virtual machine right now. And let me show, I mentioned that I'll be showing WFirst and DERB, right? So these two tools are actually used for directory enumeration. And in some cases, we can use this tool, the WFirst tool, for enumerating subdomains too. For instance, as we know that the subdomains are usually, for enumerating subdomains, we usually use tools like cert.sh and tools like that, right? So what happens is those tools usually search in the web to for which subdomains are present. Instead, we can even brute force those subdomains using the WFirst tool. So first of all, let me show a uh, the derp tool. What it does is it has a very simple command. We can just type derp space, and we can randomly take up a website. For instance, I am taking up http google.com. And what this does is we have a so what I'm doing here is I'll be posting the directories of google.com. Let's just cancel this out right now because it is kind of hectic to do. So I'll be using the wordless user shared derb wordless slash common.txt. So this word list is used and each and every word is uh, brute forced on this particular directory. That's what happens in this case. And uh, that's about derb tool. We have a lot of options in derb tool. We can use the man page of derb. We can just type man and derb, and we'll get the man page of this tool. So you can see that there's a
Aditya,
lot of options. Yeah,
can you enlarge your terminal, please?
yeah, of course. Is it visible now?
Yeah, could you make it bigger, like full screen or something?
It's full
Yeah,
screen
okay.
right now.
Yeah,
Is it visible right now?
thank you. Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, you can see that there's a lot of options right here, and we can use -a. There is a lot of options right here. Okay, you can just refer this particular man page in order to use Delp tool. Okay, now coming to the next tool of our session today, that is WFS. Okay, comparatively, WFS is more faster than the derp tool because it uses threading in order to brute force. So what happens is a lot of processes are continued at a moment. So I'll show an example for the WFirst tool. Okay, for example, I'll just do WFirst. I'll specify my directory slash user slash share slash word list. This is the directory of the word list that I'll be using for brute forcing this particular website, the directories of this particular website. So word list slash dev dev and com.txt. Okay, so then I'll have to specify the website I'll be trying to brute force it on. In this case, I'll be using the test php one web.com. That will be test php dot one web.com. Let me check whether I have entered is correct. One web.com. Okay. In this case, in the WFS case, we need to specify where the brute force needs to happen. So what I should do is uh, I should give first where I have to first this particular parameter. Okay. In this case, I have given out first here so that I could brute force in this particular space that is here. This will be first, and let's see what happens while we enter this. As you can see, we are getting a lot of errors right now. The response code is 400. So it is going on and going on and going on. And for those who are thinking that this is illegal, this is not illegal. This is a testing website that we can test on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll be adding one more option here, that is the -HC option, where I'll be able to filter out the error codes. So in this case, I'll be filtering out the 404 error. So let's see what results we get. Okay, now the 404 error is filtered out, and we are getting a error code 200. A response code 200 only, and the rest is being brute forced. As you can see here, we got a response code of 301, which will be a redirect. And let's see what comes up next. And for those who are thinking, this ID option is for the order of the word that is present in that particular word list that we are using. Okay, it is for instance, this is the first word in that word list. This is just a space, and this is the 286th word in that word list. Okay, now response code, as I think all of you have understood about response code. Now in case of lines, this is the number of lines that is present in the response code. Okay, and the number of words that is present in the response code. and this is the number of characters that is present in the response code, and this is a payload that was found. Okay, we are getting a lot of information here. As you can see here, that this is giving out a response code of 403. This is an error code actually. That means we do not have any permission to enter this particular web page. We don't have, that is a forbidden permission web page that we won't be available. The web page won't be available to us. It will be available to particular users only. That might be to admins, as I can see from here. And let's just stop this right here and get into another interesting WFS option. For that, I'll just need to enable. Okay, what I'll be doing is, for instance, in some cases, we won't be able to get into the subdomains through internet. So what we must do is we must first the subdomains by WFS itself. So what we'll do is we'll use the WFS option. I'll be entering right now. First of all, we'll be entering the WFS and minus W for word list. You know what? Just let me just use this particular and alter this. That'll be better. Okay. Uh, I have specified the word list. Then I have to specify minus H option, minus capital H. Then I'll have to give out the host. That will be given out in double quotes. HOST. No, it should be small, I think. Yeah, host, and the host which will be trying to brute force. So I'll be brute forcing. We have to give out where to brute force, right? So I'll be giving out first, then dot, and in this case I'll be using a machine called forward slash. It has the name forward slash dot html. Okay, and I have to close this double quotes. Then let's see what this gives out. No, I'll have to specify the IP address too, right? Yeah, I'll have to specify the IP address too. 10.10.183. Okay, let's see what happens. Let me just confirm whether I have. I have the connection initiated. It should start right now. It takes a while, but it should start. Okay. Now, while this starts, let's take a look at what we can do here too. So for instance, we sometimes there will be a redirection, right? For in order to remove this redirection and the 404 error, you can just come here and just give a comma here and do a give out 301 or what 302 or something. So you know what, let me just cancel this out. Well, what this gives you is for instance here you can see that it is fuzzing here, so we can brute force the subdomains too. That means here you can give admin dot forward slash dot htp, which is usually not possible with any website, because I mean when any other tools, because you need to add the particular host into the etc host folder. So what happens is this requests for this particular web page without adding into host folder. So that's kind of easy in some cases. So I'll be canceling out right now because it's taking too much time. Okay, so that's it about the WFS and the I mean the derb option and the directory enumeration. Let me just share my screen right now. Okay, so this is what the commands that I used. If anyone wants, they can just take a screenshot of this. By the way, the minus HH option here is used for eliminating those lines where the chars come in 0 or the 422. That means earlier we saw that there will be number of lines and characters and this specified, right? So these will eliminate those results out, which contains the number of characters 0 and number of characters 422. And here you can also brute force. WForce is really a very good tool. It can also brute force the password and username in some cases too. Okay, so that's what the WForce options, the WForce is tool is used for. Okay, that's all about directory enumeration. Now let's take a look at the subdomain enumeration. For this, we'll be using a tool called Sublister and a tool called cert.sh. Cert.sh is a web tool, a web page. It is open source and you can search it in the web page. Let me just share the other screen of mine. Okay, so let's search for cert.sh first. Okay, this is how a cert.sh file looks. A web page looks like, and here we can search for kinds of. For instance, let us just look up subdomains for Facebook. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just entering is percentage. Percentage means it's a wildcard here in this case, and percentage.facebook.com. So what this does is it will be searching for all the subdomains that will be available for Facebook, and it will be bringing up all those, because getting a subdomain takeover is one of those P1. I think it is P2, P3. I think it is P3. Yeah, it is a P3 bug. So what happens is I don't think Facebook has a abandoned subdomain, but one of my friends got a um, subdomain that was of Google, which he took over. So he just need to buy that subdomain and submit that report, so that Google can patch that up. So this will help you in exploring all the subdomains that is of Facebook, or whatever the domain that you are looking for. This, I think this contains about 1,000 subdomains. Yeah. Okay. So using this, we can also make a what to say tool. For instance, you can. There are a lot of subdomain enumerators out there. It is not only cert.sh. At least it can be a sublister. It can be any other website, right? So what we can do is we can create a tool out of this. For that, we need to just get a JSON file out of this. We need to just do output equal to JSON, which will give us hopefully a stripped up web page, not like this. See what it gives out. Yeah, here you can see that the information displayed earlier was the same, but I think Muslim is this up. Yeah, let's just click on the raw data. Yeah, you can see that the information mentioned earlier is also here, but we need to just output this command. We can just make a bash script of some kind and just wget this page, and use cut, grep, and other kinds of commands in order to just grep out the subdomains in this. And to filter out the repeating subdomains, we can use something like grep minus an option, in order to just remove all those and get a cleaner result of this web page. So that's what cert.sh looks like. Okay. It is quite a really a large response that we are getting. Okay, it is a lot. Okay, so now coming to cert.sh, there is also a tool that is present in GitHub right now. It is called the sublister. Many of you might have heard of this. We can either just grab this from GitHub itself, like cloning it or downloading it, or I think it is now available uh, in the Kali repos and all, and maybe in Parrot repos too. So what you need to do is we just need to do app-get install sublister and just press enter. I have already installed it, so it is the latest version of mine, so I don't need to install it. So what we need to do is let's see what all options it has. Sublister minus help will give out the options that is available in sublister. So we can see that we can just specify the domain subdomain of this particular thing, and minus B is for brute force option, and we can even change the ports on which it will be trying to brute force. For instance, for in normal cases, it will be using the port 80 or SSL, and we can even change that. And minus V option is for verbose output, and minus T option is for threads. Okay, so let's try and brute force. I mean, enumerate the Google subdomain. Let's see what happens. So I should do sublister. That's correct, right? Yeah. Okay, sublister, and use minus D option, and just give out google.com. Okay, let's see what happens in the background. So we'll give the minus V option to. Sorry, it is a small v. Okay, this should give out what. Yeah, so this is the domain from which we are getting this particular results from. So we are getting this particular domain from VirusTotal, and this is from Bing, this is from DNS Dumpster, this is from Yahoo. We are getting a lot of information from this, right? So the one of my friends, Govind, who will be taking up tomorrow's session, has built a tool. I think its name is HBM Recon. So what it does is it combines all of these results and puts together the output. And what it does is it gives out a really uniform output, and it filters out all the unwanted subdomains, and it gives out the domains that you require. So it's a really useful tool. You can just search it in GitHub. I think it is there. GitHub. Yeah. Okay. So this is what a sublister does. Okay, I think you understood that. This is what the result of a sublister looks like. Okay, now I'll just cancel this out. Okay. Okay, so that's all about the subdomain enumeration part. Now let's take a look at Burp Suite. As a web exploitation expert, I think the Burp Suite is the most, I mean, the holy grail of web exploitation. Okay, so let me share the other screen of mine. Okay, so what Burp Suite does is it is actually a man-in-the-middle proxy that will be put on between the browser and the web server. I mean, the gateway. So what takes place is that, let me just cancel this out. Yeah. So what takes place is that it can intercept any request that will be carried out from the client browser to the web browser. That's what it does. I'm in the web server. So that's what Burpsuite is. Now let's try. First of all, for using Burpsuite, you need to set up your proxy. So for that, let's just go to Mozilla, then go to preferences, and here you can search for just proxy and put this to manual proxy. And in Burp's case, it'll be using a loopback address that is 127.0.0.1 because it is pointing to us ourselves, so that the request from sent from the client browser will go through the Burp suite. Then it will only go to the gateway of the network. So I'll be putting this on manual proxy configuration and press OK. Okay, so let me just fire up my Burp suite. This is a community edition that I'm using right now, but Burpsuite Pro is really good. Like, it has a lot of tools which will be really valuable for you. I've not updated it. Yeah. Okay, whatever. So Burpsuite Pro has really valuable tools which you can be used, which you can use, and it is worth the money. Okay. So if you are a really good bug hunter or a full-time pen tester, it will be a really good worth of taking Burpsuite Pro. So this is what the dashboard of this particular version of Burpsuite looks like. And what this option is only available for Burpsuite Pro. So what this provides us is that it will be giving out the it will be pointing to the vulnerabilities of the website itself. So uh, if it finds a external service interaction, which it will show this particular vulnerabilities present. That will be specified only when while using the Burpsuite Professional version. So we have a lot of tabs here. For instance, we have a target tab, we have a proxy tab. I'll get deeper into this one by one. Let me just go through all this. Proxy tab, intruder tab, repeater tab, sequencer, decoder, comparer, and other tabs too. So what happens is our requests get captured here. So let me just request for a web page here in my browser. I'll be requesting for google.com. Oh, it got a request already. Let me just forward that. Now let me just search for google.com. As you can see, we have the request here itself. It just really takes a split of a second to come right here. So what happens when I drop this is that this fails. This particular request fails. You can see that the request was dropped by user. So that's what happens when the request is dropped. Okay. So what if let's load this web page once again. You can see that we have a request here. I'm just forwarding this. You can see we have a Google web page, right? This is the other requests that are coming through with the Google page. Okay, whatever. So we have a Google web page and it has loaded up pretty quick. Okay, so this is what a Google web page looks like. And for instance, what should we do when we have to tamper with the request? So here you can see the IP address is specified here. If you see this, if you can see this, you can see that the IP address is specified here. And let's just turn off this intercept and turn it down back. And let's just reload this particular page. We have the request here, right? So I'm pressing Control R for passing this request into the repeater. So we have this request here. Okay. So what this does is we can alter any kind of request from here. So for instance, I told you that this is the portion where we specify the path that we are requesting for, right? And this is the host. for instance, I want to request for Facebook.com. No, it won't work because we have cookies here, right? So let us specify /maps, for instance, and let's just send it. Let's see what we get. Let's try to render this. Sometimes the burp won't render it, but sometimes it does. Let's see what we have. It's not loading up. Yeah, we have the maps, right? So if it is a home page, it points out the search page, right? So this is what this particular repeater is used for. Okay, I hope everyone understood that. So this is what we can do with the repeater, and we can also tamper with the request. We can just change the session ID, I mean the cookie, and maybe there can be a vulnerability not in Google, but there may be a vulnerability in any website where while changing cookies we may be able to gain a session access on another one's account. That may be possible. So this is what a repeater is used for. Okay, for instance, let us now let's talk about the intruder. Okay, I'll press Control I to pass it into intruder, and we have it right here. We can see that the host is specified as www.google.com and the port is 443. Of course, it will be SSL. So, and the positions, what positions is specifying here is that it is asking for variables. I mean, for instance, this particular symbol is called as squiggles. Okay, so what happens is that the particular content or the string inside these squiggles get brute forced with the payload which we are attaching it to it. So I'll just clear the squiggles. These squiggles are automatically added by Bob. So I'll just clear this out. I'll show you what happens. Hold on. So I'll just clear all these squiggles out and it's not clear that. Okay, clear all. Okay. So what if we have to directory brute force a website, but we don't have WFS and so what we need to do is we need to just add a swiggle here. Okay, add a swiggle here, and we need to go to payloads and just add a payload. I mean, load a payload. Let's just load common.txt, for instance. Open this up and just click on start attack. So what happens is I'll just start it for now. So okay, this is what it looks like. So it'll be giving out the status code as same as the other one, and it will be giving out everything like error code, timeout, comment length of the particular request that the file that will be getting out. So let's just cancel this out. Okay, so and another thing that I stumbled upon yesterday was while trying to brute force google.com, I just found out something really cool. If we do a 2001, I mean give out a 2001 year, I mean just go to www.google.com / give any year before give any year, whatever year it might be. You'll get that particular version of Google search engine that will be available in that particular year. For instance, we can search topics that will be searched in the web server of Google that was in 2001. So what happens here is we can search for anything that will be present here. See, these were all those really trending topics then. Okay, so this is what this is something that I found interesting that I wanted to tell you you guys. So that's about the intruder section of Buffersec. And now coming to the target. So here, as you can see, we have loaded up a lot of web pages, right? So I have gstatic right here, google.com, Mozilla. So think that you need only the websites that is that is of google.com only. That means we should get all the subdomains from google.com, but we don't want um, any other websites other than google.com. So what we have to do is we need to go to scope option, and we need to click add. And here we can just, let's see what happens when we specify www.google.com. So we will just go with www.google.com. Let's see just what happens. Let's just see. Okay, the sitemap will filter out all the other subdomains that are other than google.com, right? Okay, so let's just see what. Let's just remove this, and let's just can I clear this out? You know what, just let me just restart both so that I can show you what this particular parameter can give you. Okay, so we don't have anything right now. Let me just turn off this introvert, and let's just add a scope. Okay, here I'll be adding some parameters. For instance, I'll be giving out it'll be dot. I need to just look it up for instance for a minute. Dot slash star dot google dot, I mean it is star slash I think dot com dot. Okay, what this does is it will give you all the subdomains of go.com, or the domain Google itself. Okay, so let's see what happens. Mm, oh, sorry. I need to add this in the advanced scope control. Yeah, I need to add it here. I need to specify just this, right? We can just give any protocol. It might be anything, HTTP or HTTPS, and just click on OK. Okay. So from now on, while visiting website, we will be able to uh, catch only those subdomains that we want, nothing other than google.com. So let's see what happens. I'll just turn on the proxy right now. Forward this, whatever it says. Do I have 2-3 Firefox is running? No, right? Yeah, okay. So let's see what happens. www.google.com. Forward this. Let's just see what we have in targets. We don't have anything. That's weird. We should have something, right? Hold on. Did I get this right? It is dot slash. Oh no, I got this dot that wrong, right? That's why. That is why. Okay. What I need to do is I need to get this star to the left side of slash. That's what was wrong. We should be able to get that. Yeah, you can see here that it is showing all the subdomains of Google only. Okay, it is showing play.google.com, www.google.com, support.google.com, accounts.google.com, adservice.google.com, apis.google.com, and it'll come up with a lot of other websites while we start visiting. So for instance, we search for maps and we go to Google Maps. Yeah, here we go. We can see that it shows up maps.google.com here, right? So for instance, let's say business.google.com is out of scope right now. So we need to just right click on this, just click on remove from scope. It should be removed right now, right? Yeah. Okay, whatever. So that's what we have to do. So now let us talk about the color scheming here. You can see that some of these subdomains are not in dark black color, right? And some are in black. Like for instance, maps.google.com is in dark and bold. So why is this happening? Is that while I visit, for instance, when I'm visiting, you can see both screens, right? So let us see what happens when we visit mail.google.com. As you can see here, we just visited mail.google.com and it's just turned blue, bold, right? So that is what the color indicates. The websites that we have visited turns into dark black color and the others will be gray. So these websites have been in contact with some pages that we have come across, but we haven't touched these websites yet. Okay, so that's what the color coding here specifies. And these websites come across us when we visit for instance, when we visit maps.google.com, it will interact with the Google, mails.google.com to know if we have signed into this Gmail account, so that it can give out a more personalized information that is required for us. So a that's how these websites come up. So uh, let me just share my other screen. Okay, this is the parameter that I used. If anyone wants this, they can just take a screenshot of this. After com, it is a $sign. Okay. Okay. So that was all from my end for today's session. I think Navneet, you can take over the rest. Navneet, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Aditya. That was a great session.
Okay, thank
Now
you. Thank you.
we'll be open to any questions. If you have any questions, you can ask in the chat box. Any questions? Anyone? Yeah, Aditya, if you can check
Yeah,
the chat, I
I saw
think we
that.
have.
Any methods we can practice burp suit? Yeah, of course. We have a tool called Juice Shop, which can be used for practicing burp suit, and we can see. You can also see some videos from YouTube, which will be explaining a lot of options in burp suit. I have given a brief introduction to burp suit, but I think you can get more advanced about that particular topic. Webgoat can also be webgoat can also be used. Yeah, of course. Webgoat is one of the machines that is present in WorldHub, and WorldHub is a platform that was introduced yesterday by Amit, and that is one of those best uh, machines that can be used for web pen testing. Yeah, about CSRF and XSS, I think it is out of topic for today's session. It will be explained later on by Govind and Abhiram. That will be taken for tomorrow. Any more questions? How
Aditya, we
clickjacking
have.
works? Yeah, I saw that. Clickjacking, that I think that is that is a question that should be answered by Govind, because it is out of topic for today's session. I just took the introduction to web, right? So a deeper dive into web exploitation will be on tomorrow's session of bug bounty. So that will be explained there.
Okay, guys, the feedback form is in the chat, so you can fill it if you have any feedback. Any more questions?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dakshar. I think the other
Okay.
questions can be answered tomorrow, because it will be better if because I don't want to spoil their session, right? So I think it is better for them to take this particular questions there. So please don't forget your questions. It will be taken up tomorrow by Govind and Abhiram. Yeah, thank you, Saradi. Thank you. So I hope all understood my session.
Okay, we have an announcement and a gentle reminder that tomorrow's session, it's on bug bounty hunting. And because we have a lot of requests, we will be taking tomorrow's session in Malayalam. It has been requested by many members of the audience. So tomorrow's session on bug bounty will be taken by Govind and Abhiram in Malayalam.
There won't be a translation option. Actually, that was a
doubts you have?
really request from all the Malayali hackers out there. So that's why we wanted at least one session in Malayalam.
You guys don't have to worry. We will be helping you in the chat and in our Telegram group as well. If you have any doubts, you can ask us. Our moderators are always ready to help you out.
Yeah, of course we are. And if any questions are there regarding this session, other than questions that is coming up for today's session, you can just ping me on Telegram. I am Wicked Soul. I'll be in the Telegram group.
Okay, so I think we can wind up for the night, if that's all. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
And
I
thank
think
you for
Navneet, we
joining
can
us.
wind up because there is no more questions coming up.
Yeah, okay. So we'll hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, bye everyone. Okay, bye.